All right. Now today we have with us the January 2018 paper. So that's what we're looking at today, January 2018. And the January 2018 paper, it has 10 questions, as we know, 7 from section 1 and 3 from section 2. All right, and so this is what we're about to do. Again, we have 2 hours and 40 minutes to complete this paper. A list of the formulas. Anytime you can't remember a formula, don't be afraid to come back to this sheet. All right, so let's begin. Question 1. It says, using a calculator or otherwise, calculate 5.5, and that looks like divide. Is that a divide? Yes, 5.5 divided by 3 2/3 plus 1 4/5. Giving your answer in its lowest term. Generally, when it says using a calculator, just use the calculator. But let's say you don't want to use the calculator. 5.5 is really 11/2. It's being divided by, this is really 3 times 3, 9, plus 2 is 11, so that's 11/3. Plus, we're adding, that looks like, this works out to be 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, so that's 9/5. And when you're dividing this now, you're told that when you reciprocate and change the sign to multiplication, so it becomes 11/2 multiplied by 3/11 plus 9/5. Now this 11 cancels this 11, and so it works out to be 3/2 plus 9/5. We have 3/2 plus 9/5. And then we use the LCM. The LCM of these two is 10. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 5 into 10 goes 2 times. 5 into 10, 2 times. And 2 times 9 is 18. And so the answer is going to be 33/10. 33/10. All right. But if you want, you can write your answer as, some persons might want to write it as 3 and 3/10. No issues. Easy question. You can also just put it in your calculator because the question says using a calculator. So you could just go directly to your calculator and work out what is 5.5 divided by 3 and 2/3 plus 1 and 4/5. Just put it directly in your calculator and you get the answer. Nice and easy. Now here's another question. It says, work out 165 times 0.6. 165 times 0.38 squared. So let's put this in a calculator. 165 times 0.38, and you're squaring that. So you work it out and you get 23.826. And that's the exact value of this. Nice and easy. No issues. 23.826. Let's continue now. Now it says, write your answer in part A2, correct to 2 decimal place. So look at this and write your answer to 2 decimal place. So write this to 2 decimal place. The 2 decimal place is going to be 23.83. 2 decimal places. This is 23.83. That's the 2 decimal place. Now it wants it to 3 significant figures. 1 significant figure, 2 significant figure, 3 significant figure. So that's 23.8 to 3 significant figure. 23.8. And then it asks to the nearest whole number. Now 23.8 is closer to the number 24 than it is to 23. So to the nearest whole number, it is 24. Nice and easy, 24. Let's look at part C. Part C says, Mr. Adams invested $5,000 at the credit union and received $5,810 inclusive of the simple interest after 3 years. Calculate the simple interest earned. All right, so he invested $500 and he received $5,810. So clearly the interest is $810. All right, so you can just write that down. The interest is $810. So the interest is equal to 5,810 minus the 5,000. That is equal to $810. That's the interest. Now it says the annual interest rate paid by the credit union. The annual interest rate. So in order to find the annual interest rate, first and foremost, I want you to remember this formula, that interest is equal to principal times rate times time. I is equal to PRT. And they want us to find the rate. So make R the subject. And so if you make R the subject, R is equal to divide both sides by PT. The rate is equal to the interest divided by the principal times time. All right. So in this case, the annual interest rate is equal to, R is equal to the interest, 810, divided by the principal of $5,000 times the time. And I think it was 3 years. Here it is, 3 years. And that will give you R. So when we work that out, we're getting 810 divided by 5,000 times 3. All right. So the rate is 0.054. If you want to give the rate as a percentage, you can multiply it by 100 to say that is the rate is equal to 5.4% per year, per annum. 5.4% per year. Annually means per year. So if you wanted to convert it to percentage, that's fine. If you wanted to leave it as a decimal, that's also fine. Anything is fine, really. And so that's it. Nice and easy. Soft with a capital T. Okay, now that we've done that, now let's look at the next part. It says, find the length of time it will take for Mr. Adams' investment to be doubled at the same rate of interest. So we want to find the time now. Looking at the formula, we're going to transpose for time. The time. So the time T If we're going to make T the subject from here, it seems like T is equal to I over P times R. That's how we're going to find the time. So we wanted to find the time that it's going to take for the time taken for his investment to be to be doubled. His investment. So what was his investment? Let's go back to the top. He invested $5,000. So when is an investment going to double and reach $10,000? You want this sum of money to reach $10,000. So if this sum of money to reach $10,000 is investment, he pretty much wants is interest to be $5,000. All right. So how long will it take for him to make $5,000 interest? And when he makes $5,000 interest, then his investment would have been doubled. So how long will that take for his interest to reach $5,000? So that's pretty much what we want. So we want to find the time when his interest will become $5,000. His investment is $5,000. So if his interest is $5,000, then he would have had $10,000 sitting on. All right, so it's 5,000 divided by the principal times the rate, same rate we're using, the 0.054. And so that's equal to, let's see what that is equal to. So 5,000 divided by 5,000 times 0.054. That is 18.5. This is 18.5. All right. So it will roughly take him 18. It will take 19 years for his investment to reach $10,000, i.e., that is double. It's going to take 19 years roughly for him to finally see his investment double. That's that question. Nice and easy. No issue.